Good and evil. Why the conflict? There seems to be a never-ending duel between good and evil. And there's certain reasons why evil was permitted and necessary for our spiritual evolution. Can you elaborate on that, please, Brian?
Yes, evil has inflicted this, the force of evil has inflicted this planet since time immemorial. And it baffled me, and it baffles a lot of researchers as to why we have so much so-called evil on this planet when we have been told that there is a God of love. Well, my teacher, Paul Brunton, who wrote many books on this, explains it wonderfully, and I can accept that, and particularly during my meditation it becomes quite clear that we have to have the contrasts on this planet, because without so-called evil we would not be able to appreciate good, and without light without light we couldn't appreciate darkness, or vice versa. Without heat there would be no cold. It's the contrasts between the two, and it is up to us to recognize evil, or as I came to know it, as ignorance of cosmic law is what we call evil, is the cause of suffering on this planet. And because we are violating cosmic law every time we create violence, we get angry, or we're jealous, or greedy, or we take from life, we are helping to create a negative atmosphere. And every time there is a war, every time there is violence of any description, even violent thoughts, families who have feuds, don't speak to each other for generations, people who hate each other, religious sects that hate each other and try to create violence, political groups that create problems and violence with each other, countries that do not like each other's regimes and create violence. All this creates negative energy which goes out around the world, and that is helping to create, sensitive people pick that up, and that is helping to create this cloud of ignorance. But once we can overcome and we observe that good in the form of love, peace and harmony within our lives is the only way to counteract and negate this negative force that we call evil, then we will progress in a spiritual way. And since life is a spiritual progression from ignorance to enlightenment, we will all follow that pathway eventually. Over many lives, we start off in animalistic form as a human being, where we create every conceivable form of violence through ignorance, and we live life through me, I want, I need, I have, what's in it for me. And eventually, as we become more enlightened over many lifetimes, it's what can I give to life, how can I help you? And the thought of the I doesn't come into it. It's how much love can I give, how much kindness can I give, what can I give back to life. And that is the difference between ignorance and more enlightenment. And the two forces of good and evil, light and dark, are intertwined and are necessary, as has been likened to the seed struggling through the darkness of the soil to reach the light. Is like if us struggling through the darkness of ignorance to reach the light and understanding of the truth of life and the meaning and purpose to life, which is to give love, and eventually we will go back to that source that gave us life in the first place. And that, in a nutshell, is the reason why we have good and evil intertwined.
Also, in this chapter, you mentioned that there is no devil. Can you expand on that, please?
Yes, tracing history back, it's very easy to see where the devil, or the entity called the devil, came into the scenario. It was really a means of suppressing people, because if the devil didn't get your God word, so it was fear tactics really, and people used to blame the devil for every negative event that happened in their lives. And having done a lot of research into mystical writings, then all the mystical teachers and gurus, teachers of truth, say the same thing, that there is no devil. All the evil on this planet, or ignorance, is created by us. It's very easy to put the blame onto some negative entity, but if we create a problem here, then the problem is us. We create the wars, we create the violence. It is not the work of some devil. Please sir, it wasn't me, it was the devil. It's very easy to blame that. Yes, there are negative entities in the lower astral regions that do influence lower-minded human beings and cause them to commit crimes. And many people that have been convicted of heinous crimes, mass murders, claim they hear a voice telling them to kill. Possibly so that they are picking up negative entities from the lower astral planes, or even what we call earthbound human entities that were violent when they were alive. They'll be violent when they pass over. Nothing changes. We are as we are when we die. The fact that we're living in a different dimension is neither here nor there. We are as we are.